Division 6-0 in the UFC at 185 pounds. Tonight, at just 26 years old, Joe will try to complete the mission and become a UFC champion.
It has been fascinating watching the journey of this young man go from
Robert Whittaker proved that he is still a strong fighter by beating Khamzat Chimaev, who had never lost before. This ruined Chimaev's record and crushed his hopes after a disappointing loss to the current middleweight champion. Drustus, Whittaker had something to prove when he came back at UFC 298. This time, 10 years later, he proved that he's still just as dangerous as ever by fighting Khamzat Chimaev in a 3-round war on the feet that he won by majority decision success. It wasn't easy, but Whittaker's power and accuracy kept Chimaev in check round after round. He also did a lot of damage with a bunch of hard calf kicks that made Chimaev's shin swell up the size of a golf ball. In the end, the judges scored the fights 30, 27, 29, 28, and 29, 28 for Whittaker to get the win. "Yes, this is the fight I trained for," he told Whittaker that he's a tough guy. "After my last fight, I put a lot of pressure on myself to come here and do well. I'm looking to make peace with Drus. Now that I'm back," the fight began. Chimaev came out firing instantly, displaying the kind of power that made him the best middleweight in the world. But Whittaker was undeterred. Whittaker adjusted to the early aggression and then CED with a series of stiff leg kicks that landed with a sickening thud. On Chimaev's lead leg, swelling began to form, which slowed him down enough that Whittaker was able to surprise the Brazilian with his speed just as it looked like Whittaker had the upper hand. Chimaev uncorked a hellacious spinning heel kick that blasted the former champion and put him on a shaky leg. Chimaev rushed forward looking for the finish, but time ran out before he could put Whittaker away as the second round got started. Chimaev's confidence rose, but Whittaker wasn't backing down as he continued to stand in the pocket during every exchange. Whittaker was still hitting with his combinations, including more of those nasty calf kicks that were doing a lot of damage. Chimaev came back at him with a strong jab that saw Whittaker's face turn into a bloody mess, but he didn't show any signs of slowing down. As much as Chimaev has had the power edge, Whittaker just kept connecting with more frequency. Although he had to be wary about getting too aggressive on the feet, nothing could get Chimaev to back down as he kept marching forward, and he cracked Whittaker with several hard legs of his own. Chimaev has also kept finding a home for his lead jab, but Whittaker was giving as good as he was getting in every fight over 3 rounds. Whittaker's volume really was the difference, as he just kept tagging Chimaev repeatedly and never giving the one-time title challenger much of a chance to come back at him with the victory. Whittaker jumps right back in the title picture at 185 pounds, and he'll surely keep a close eye on the division where Dupas now holds the title. Whittaker is no stranger to fighting under the bright lights. He became the first Australian to win a UFC title and has faced the best of the best in the 185 PB division throughout his entire career. He made his Octagon debut back in 2012, originally fighting at welterweight, so he goes into the matchup with far more experience than Chimaev. Whittaker made his UFC start on the 15th of December 2012 at UFC on FX6, which was also known as the Ultimate Fighter, the Smashes finale.
Whittaker is in the black costume, brought to you by Kung Fu Panda 4, starring Jack.
Oh, yeah, I was talking to one of his coaches.
Oh yeah, that momentarily.
He would fight Bradley Scott to decide the welterweight winner of the Ultimate Fighter. Whittaker won the fight via unanimous decision to become the first winner of the Ultimate Fighter, the Smashes, alongside Norman Park, who was the lightweight winner since his debut. He has gone 17-5 inside the octagon, meeting the likes of Israel Adesanya, Darren Till, Drias, Dupas Pau Costa, and more. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt comes into the matchup on a 2-fight win streak, After falling to middleweight champion Dupes last July, his matchup against Chimaev marks his third fight of 2024 after defeating Costa at UFC 298. The Reaper faced Ren Alisov on short notice after Che's withdrawal from their bout in June, and he passed the test with flying colors, knocking out Alisov in less than 2 minutes.
With that offering.
I'd like to see come good right a little bit. Yeah, Whittaker.
Yeah, 12 years in.
Whittaker has proven that he is dangerous wherever the fight goes, winning 5 of his 27 wins by submission and 11 by knockout. The 33-year-old has solidified himself as an elite contender in the middleweight class once again, and is hungry to stop the hype train of Chimaev stepped onto the scene in 2020 and has been on a tear in the UFC ever since. He has bounced back and forth between the welterweight and middleweight divisions. That after some issues on the scale back in 2020 to Chimaev has definitely moved up to the 185-pound division.
That hook behind it. Robert Whittaker.
Boris Crichton has finished all but 2 of his 13 wins, going the distance with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman in fights that are still being talked about by fight fans. 8 of those finishes have also come in the first round with wins over Kevin Holland, Li Jingliang and Gerald Myers. Chimaev's biggest question mark is his inconsistency due to health problems during his first year on the roster back in 2020. The 30-year-old fought 4 times, once in 2021, twice in 2022, and only once in 2023. It's always an exciting time when Chimaev has steps in the cage, and this will be no different on Saturday night as he looks to move 1 inch closer to claiming UFC gold.
Situations are both so fast. They're down. Exhausted, both damaged. Oh, there it is again.
This fight is planned for 5 rounds, but it would be surprising if it went the whole 25 minutes. If it does make it into the championship rounds, it will be interesting to see how Chimaev cardio holds up, as this would be the first time he goes the 4th and 5th rounds in his UFC career. Currently, he has an average fight time of 627 due to Whittaker's experience in the UFC and the numerous major events he has had. His average fight time is much higher at 133. When looking at their striking, the two are pretty similar. Chimaev does have a higher striking accuracy at 58.8% compared to Whittaker at 43% in terms of strikes made per minute. Chimaev once again has the better number at 570 to compared to 458.
There's a takedown attempt right at the... It's a great fight.
Anywhere this fight goes will be interesting, but particularly if the fight does get to the ground given the takedown defense that both of these middleweights are capable of. Chimaev has a 100% takedown defense efficiency, while Whittaker comes in at 82.9%. We are more likely to see Chimaev shoot for a takedown, as he has a takedown average of 399 with Dupas sitting at the top of the throne waiting for his new opponent. This is a big matchup for the 185 pounds division, and it should be an intriguing one for everyone watching. Previously undefeated UFC star Khamzat Chimaev has set his eyes on a potential super fight with former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya as he prepares to face Robert Whittaker today.
Aren't you different? You're
different weight classes. But he missed his last fight. Did he miss weight?
Oh, he was way over.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm not scared of no one on this fucking planet. No one. And also, guess what? I like it.
In a recent interview, the Chinese-born fighter voiced his interest in the Nigerian-born star, highlighting Adesanya. Global appeal: Israel Adesanya. Yet, Izzy is a good fighter. He's one of the most popular guys in the world right now. Chimaev said this call-out comes at a key moment for both fighters. Adesanya recently suffered a 4th-round submission loss to South Africa's Drus Dupes at UFC 305 in Perth, while Chimaev stays undefeated in his career despite leading on the scorecards. Adesanya's attempt to regain the middleweight title was cut short by a rear naked choke from Dupe, which he later called a result of a dumb mistake.
I like a challenge. You know what I mean? That presents something unique that I haven't. I've seen wrestlers before.
Bro, it's a big fight. It's a big fight.
You know what?
Very big fight.
That's what I like.
I felt strong and defended his takedowns well. I just made a stupid mistake on the ground, and he adapted with the gable gripped and caught me. Adesanya admitted after his defeat that the 35-year-old Adesanya, who has beaten several elite fighters in the division, including Whittaker, recently shared his prediction for the Saturday matchup between Chimaev and his former rival. I'm going with Rob Whittaker for this one with a late finish in round 4. The former winner predicted me. Meanwhile, UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad claimed that Chimaev's wrestling skills could give him an advantage over Whittaker, similar to Dup's successful grappling against Adesanya. as Chimaev focuses on Whittaker. A possible showdown with Adesanya looms if both fighters win in their next bout, adding to the division's intrigue for Adesanya. Now considering his next steps, a matchup with Chimaev might offer a chance to reassert his power in the division he once ruled. I'm upset in myself, but I'm also proud he was the better man on the night, and I respect him for that. Adesanya said of his loss to Dupes. We await the next move of Khamzat Chimaev's future, but it's less likely that he gets the fight against Israel out of Sonnet after this disappointing loss. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay linked with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time.